Alright folks, sorry about that. I'm back. So today we are looking at the plotting the highs and lows for any specific market. Is going to get me a little bit, so I got to figure out what I want to do. So I don't want to get the highs and lows for the after hours for the day before. I need to get it for today, but I don't want to start it at 12 o'clock and moving onward. I want to get it for the entire aftermarket hours, which would be the day prior after 4 o'clock and also the day after up until 9:30. The problem with that is if it's today, I can code for that. I just need to say that one of the dates is after. One of the dates is yesterday, and the time is after 4 o'clock. I guess that'll work. I'm just trying to think of as the day goes on, when we get into the new aftermarket hours. It needs to turn off. So I need to draw a line for if we are within market hours. I need to have a certain logic going, and then if we're after market hours, I need to have a new logic going. After hours on that same day. I don't know. Do I want to plot them both? Because if we're after 4 o'clock, do I want to see the pre-market levels from that same day's morning, or do I want to erase those levels from the morning and then start new for that day? I don't know what I want. I've got to do something though. So let me see. Let's just say if we're going to start this, we're going to say that if we are if the time is before 9:30. No, if we're at market hours. So if we are in market hours, then plot the after hours from AM of today and PM of yesterday. All right, so to do that, we need to say if time is greater than if time is greater than 09:30, so we're in market hours, and date is equal current date. So the date of the candle is going to, so that each candle is going to have its own date, and then the current date is going to be equal to today. All right, then begin. What are we going to begin? We're going to look at, is there one for yesterday? Oh, yesterday is a word. Okay, so if date equals yesterday and time is after 1600, then count. We're gonna call it count after hours. Count after market. That can be confusing because AM will make you also think that it's the morning. And then PM for pre-market looks like PM for after hours. So it can be definitely confusing. All right, so if date equals yesterday and time is over the 1600, then count AM. Then count AM plus equals 1. And then we're gonna highest. So yesterday high is equal to highest of the highest high of count AM. All right. Highest yesterday high. Yes to thighs. Yes, thighs. Yesterday high is the highest of count AM, which is count aftermarket. Okay. So that's the high. Okay. And then if date equals current date and time is less than 0930, so it's pre-market hours, then today high equals highest today equals highest of highest high of let me see. I think I'm doing extra work here. So we just keep count AM going. So we need to say count AM is going to equal to 1. And outside of this, we'll say if count AM equals 1, then or greater than equal to 1, then count AM plus equals 1. All right, and so from yesterday, then count A equals 1. Yesterday high equals highest high of count AM. Yesterday high equals highest high of count AM. The date of the current date, the date is the current date and the time is less than 9:30, then today's high is equal to highest high of, we can still say the highest high of count AM because we're continuing on. Okay, and I think we just end there. And then we'll say if time is equal to 0930, then count AM equals 0. So we just be restarting that. Yeah. And since we have everything here, time is greater than 9:30. Time is less than 9:30. Date is the current date. Date is the current date and time is less than 9:30. Today's high was highest high of count AM. Time is equal to 1600. Because if we say greater than or equal to 1600, then for every bar, it's going to keep resetting count AM to 1600. So we need to say that if the date is yesterday and the time is equal to 1600, then count AM is equal to 1. There, once count AM is equal to 1, then we're going to add 1 to each bar thereafter. And then the date is the current date and the time is less than 9:30. And we're going to take today's high. And today's high is going to equal to the highest high of all count AM. Time is equal to 9:30. We don't have to say the day, but we will. If the date equals current date and time is equal to 9:30, then count AM equals 0. Then count AM equals 0. If that, then we're going to begin count AM equals 0. Well, we should be plotting all along the way. Too bad TradeStation doesn't have like a simulation account, like where you can replay the chart and let your strategy or whatever apply as you go. It's crazy they don't have that. Yeah, because I really can't test this now until I get into a live stream, until I get into live data. But so each step along the way, I need to be plotting the high. Or if it's overnight, then I'm plotting yesterday's high. So if date equals yesterday and time is less than 09, time is less than 12, well, I guess 2400, 12 p.m. Then plot 1 is equal to yesterday's high. Okay, if date equals today and time is less than 0930, then plot today high. And that's just all for the top. For the high, we haven't even looked at the low yet. Yesterday high, today high, yesterday high, today high, and count AM. Yep. All right. Yesterday. Well, you got yesterday in there, so I figured that yesterday was the actual word that we could use. So we'll just say that if date equals yesterday, if date equals current date a bar ago, how about that? Well, you have yesterday, so I would think yesterday would work. So we can't do current date a bar ago, or can we do it in parentheses? Current date. If date equals current date minus 1, I hope that translates. Up. Okay, minus 1, and then we just go today. We can't use today. What in the world does today mean? Let's look that up, because it's one of the reserved words, so it's got to mean something. Today is used for return for backwards compatibility. Users purpose of most current bar, even when analyzing today bar. Today is no longer necessary as a bar. Well, I mean, I put it, and it doesn't like it, so we'll use current date. We know it likes that. All right, so plot 1, plot 2, and then end. We have an end, begin. Okay, we got 2 begins. There's a begin and an end. Again, we have a begin, and then there's a begin, and there's an end. Here's a begin, and then here's the end. All right, so let's add this to the chart. Just see what it does. This is what did I call it? Pre-market highs and lows. Show me market highs and lows. Oh, so I have the values. Well, apparently I didn't even click on the right thing. I have the values, but I have a plot, but I need to make it a line. And unfortunately, the last data here is for 216. We don't even have anything for 217, and the last thing for 216 was 1600. So that's why I say I can't even really test it until I get into a live market, which sucks because, again, I can't test it. I don't know. Are there any markets that are open right now? Options are closed, shares are closed. Everything is closed right now. There's no chart I can put it on. I'll do a quick search. Yeah, of course, just the Forex market. And I don't do anything with Forex. I guess I'm just going to have to put this on a back burner until then. But what I can do is I can, instead of current date minus 1, if date is current date minus 1, I mean, I really don't want to do that because I can change all these so that they're effective for like February the 16th and February the 15th. But that really changes the whole concept of using current date and everything like that. So it's not going to be helpful when it comes to it's not going to be helpful when it comes to actually make sure that it works in real time and that you get, when you get a new high, it plots a new high instead of the previous high. So one thing that I can work on that's similar, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I never done this before, is somebody put a question, and I think this will actually help with what I'm working on right here, right now. Somebody put a question up on one of the forums and they wanted to be able to have a line created when certain criteria was met, and then when new criteria was met, essentially what I'm doing, when new criteria was met, that it would erase this old line and then plot this new line. So there's two ways I can do that. One way is that I can plot the first line and then I can delete that last one and draw the next one. Or the other way I can do it is, I think like you can push back so you can only keep a certain number open at one time. I'm gonna play with it right now because, like I said, this is something new for me and I don't know what in the heck I'm doing with it. I don't know how to do it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. So we're gonna do a new show me, and we're gonna do just draw horizontal lines, because this will help me with the pre-market code that I will have to do during regular hours. So we'll do horizontal line deletion, because essentially we want to make horizontal lines, and then when certain criteria is met, we want to delete them, or we only want to have so many horizontal lines made at a time. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So first thing that we'll do is we'll just go and we'll delete all this. And so I'm just going to make a script so that every time we get like a real long bearish candle or a real long bullish candle, that we will create a horizontal line. And then so from there we will look to see if we can delete any new lines that occur, or delete any old lines. So we'll just play with it and see what we can do here. All right, so first of all, I know that we're drawing, so we're going to use EL system using EL system dot drawing, using EL system dot drawing objects. All right, we want to do a variable. We're going to do horizontal bear. We'll do horizontal bear. That's going to be null. That is a trend line of the class trend line. And then we'll do a horizontal bull. Horizontal line. I don't know, I have a trend line, but we'll do a horizontal line. Horizontal bull. And that's also null. So we come back over here. Horizontal line. Okay, and then we come down here and we say if. I don't use if and only if much, so I won't start using it now, but I have seen where you can use it somewhere. I don't know. All right, so if bear and range is greater than range 7, so it's a long bear, then condition 1 equals true, else condition 1 equals false. Then we'll say if condition 1, then begin. We want to draw the horizontal line, so we'll say horizontal bar is equal to trend horizontal line dot create, and then it's just going to need it should be telling me what it needs, but I think it's going to need both I think it'll make a line all the way across the screen, so it won't need but just the price. I don't think it'll need the date and time. Some of them use the bar date and time. Yeah, it just needs the price. Okay, so just the price. And the price is going to be if we're doing a bearish candle, let's do the low, because we're going to assume that if we have a really long bearish candle, we're going to assume that we're coming down so far. It's the exhaustion candle, and then we're going to capture the low. If it's a bullish candle, we want to get the high. So we'll do that, and then we'll do horizontal or horiz bar dot lock equals true. Now we have the horizontal line created there. We need to draw it. Drawing objects, dot add, and then horizontal bar, and then end. Okay, so we're just going to copy and paste that. That's going to be used. Same criteria for the bullish candle. And then we need to change the color on these because otherwise, this is condition 2. Otherwise, we'll get confused what's what. Horizontal bar. This is the horizontal. Horizontal bar is not even right. It's got to be a horizontal bear. Jesus. All right, let's come down here and add a color to it. Make sure this thing is blue. All right, so horizontal bull dot color equals color dot blue. Okay, and then we're going to do horizontal bear dot color is equal color dot red. Bear. Okay. Now, so if condition 2 is true, okay, so that should be just about right. Color, except for my typos that I always have. I only have one typo this time? Guys, come on. Give me my props. That's good for me. All right, so we're doing, what is this? The horizontal line, delete, something like that. Okay. Whoa. That's because, well, that's because nothing. There can't be that many bars on this chart that are bears that long. Okay, maybe it is. But how come we don't have any red ones? Horizontal bear dot color equals red. We got the blue ones, I see clearly. Let's do ranges, not just the range is greater than 7, but range is greater than 7 times 2. It's going to be a really long candle, or significantly longer than. That didn't change much at all. And I doubt that there's that many candles that are that much longer than the range 7. How about times 4? Okay, I'm not even seeing any red ones come up at all. Oh, there's a red one down here. Okay, but obviously we know this is ridiculous. This is way too much. All right, so let's add another criteria to this, just to say that not only does it have to be a long candle, but also the volume has to be large. So ticks is greater than V6, so the 6-period moving average of ticks times 2, and that's still a lot. Now I need to check my logic because something is fishy. Fishy. All right, let's check that logic. All right, so if it's a bull and the range is greater than the range of 7 times 4, and the ticks is greater than the 6-period moving average of the ticks times 2, then condition equals true. Else, the condition 1 equals false. That's got to be condition 2 equals false. That's why, because the blues never turn off. Once it turned on, now it's on for every single candle. All right, so verify that, and now we only get a couple of lines. The thing about the horizontal line is you don't know where it started from. Now, if we were to do a trend line, the trend line, we should be able to draw it, and we at least know where it started from. But as of now, we don't know where this line started from, what its reference point is. I wouldn't say that it matters, but I'm just looking at it and I don't see whatever happened when it happened. it wasn't significant enough that the chart respected that line multiple times. I mean, it kind of hesitated in here. I mean, it kind of is a little rejection there. It kind of hesitated in here. It's kind of the middle ground through this region. There was a little hesitation there, so maybe it is significant. Maybe it is. And then for the red lines for the bottom of the bearish candles, it did respect here and here, and it wicked off here, right through there, through that tip right there. There and there, not the extremes though, not the extremes here or the extreme there. Yeah, so. All right, but let's take this qualifier away. We're going to make it ×2. Oh, and you see that mistake that I had earlier where this condition 2 was still met? That's what happens when you copy and paste a lot. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right, so with us moving it this way, we have a number of lines now, and this is kind of what I would expect. But what I want to do now is, instead of getting these lines for the entire chart is so big, it goes from February the 16th all the way back to January the 29th. What I want to do is be able to delete all the lines that are like older than a certain number of we want to keep 5 lines, okay? Keep 5 lines each. Can we do that? Can we do that? All right, now I know there's something in here, delete object, because I found that the other week. Or object.delete. No, we're gonna find it. We gonna find it. Horizontal bear.delete. Nope. All right, let's go to the help. Find out what the delete object, draw objects class. So we got this where we can delete, but this is the older style version. This is the newer style version. So let's see how we would delete it. Gets a collection of drawing objects of the type specified by the enumeration filter. See object category for a list of possible enumeration filters. Refer to vector for information about accessing items from a vector collection. So I wonder if we have to. I don't know if we have to add this to a. The draw objects class is used to add or delete a drawing object from a chart and allows you to request a filtered collection of drawing objects by type. Used by the drawing objects property. This add value adds a drawing object to the chart drawing collection. Well, I sure wish they would give you an example of how to use the class or set up the vector. Because I have no clue. Get a drawing object from the collection based on an object category value and ID number. Delete value deletes a drawing object from the collection. Alright, so we're going to try objects property. let's just try drawing objects. I'm gonna put this to the side over here. Let's see, because we need to save these to the collection first, don't we? So if we do drawing object dot, nope, I thought we could do add. Nope. Okay. So drawing objects class, can we start a new class up here called drawing object? Okay, and then we'll say we'll just call it bears, and then we'll do it null. Let's see if that works. And so we're going to say bears dot something there. Nope. Drawing object. Drawing objects. Draw objects. Objects. See object category. This is what I'm looking at. An enumerated list of object categories, all or ellipse, horizontal line. Okay, so this is how we define what we want to delete or add. However, how do you get to that? Items. It's a collection of drawing objects of the type specified by the filter. So I think we need to make the vector first. But I thought the vector could only take a string integer boolean. String integer or boolean. How would you even add an object to it? Oh. As an element or object before the specified index. Okay, try that. All right, so I know for using a vector that we're going to have to using collections. System.collections. Yep. And then we'll come down here and vector. We'll call it bears. Start it as null. So we need to get rid of this bears. And so I think we have to, I don't think we have to initialize it. I think we just start adding to it. All right, so we're going to do bears.insert. What is the object? The index, insert it before 1, and then the object will be what is the object? I guess the object is horizontal. Maybe we don't have to put the whole thing. Maybe just put horizontal bear. See if that works. I think so. Okay. I think that worked. So we're going to just get rid of this for the meantime. The bulls. And see what we have. All right, we got an error that came up for something. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. All right, so bears.insert. Some of the times the problem is that you don't, well, I think maybe we do have to start the vector. Once we're going to begin the new vector. Once bear equals new vector. Bears. Now we have the vector created. So now we can actually put stuff in the vector. All right. So come back. Turn that on. Element index needs to be in vector's range. That's because the vector started off at 0 and we didn't have anything in the first position. And so we went and we said, hey, we have our first horizontal line. Put it after the second position because you have 0 and then you have 1. 0 is the first position, 1 is the second position. This is the second position. We don't have anything in the second position. So either this needs to be 0 or we need to just add the first one, and then after we add the first one, then we can start inserting the. Oh, that worked. Okay, so just insert it before 0. All right, so now we have all of our horizontal lines, but now we want to make it so that we only keep the last 5. Follow me? Okay, so as we started our new vector, and now when we have our new bears to come up, we're making the horizontal line, we're locking it, we're storing the horizontal, or we're showing the horizontal line here, okay, and then here we're coloring it red, and then here we're saving the line in the vector, and it's what they call LIFO, last in first out. So the one that was in position 1, once we have a new horizontal line, it's now going to be in position 2. The new one will be in position 1. Now when we have a new line, the one that was in position 2 is going to be in position 3. The one that was in position 1 is going to be in position 2. Last in, first out. Okay, so what we want to do now that we got into a vector, and again, this is my first time doing this, so I'm just kind of working my way through it. I'm just trying to use the instructions and follow the logic that it's presented, which is not always clear, ambiguous at best. All right, but so now to delete the object, we want to delete a drawing object from the collection. How do we do that? drawing object dot delete. And then this is going to be a value. Adds a drawing object to the drawing chart collection. Deletes a drawing object from the collection. I don't necessarily need to delete it from the collection. I want to delete it off the screen. I want to delete it off the face of the map. All right. Delete object. That's not it. Delete drawing object from the chart. Yeah, but I think this will be just looked at. Delete events. Associated with a deleted event. Let's see what that gives us. Deleted object. Object gets the deleted object that was deleted. Drawing object that was deleted. Don't need that. Okay. All right. No, you know what? I don't see it. Or should we be just saving the object and then I don't know the best way to do this. Let me see if there is any info about deleting an object. I can copy and paste or get the logic for. I know that whatever I'm going to find is going to be super here we go. All right, so the platform one, you want to see if you exceeded 2,000 drawings. Expression return the name of drawing objects. That delete method can be used to delete drawing objects. EL system analysis technique drawing objects. That delete method can be used to delete drawing objects. Horizontal line. When using EL system is declared as analysis technique, drawing objects can be shortened to just drawing objects. Okay. This is not encompass all drawing objects. Fibonacci, which I don't do anything with. The indicator code is cleaning up or removing old objects. It runs on a timer. I don't want a timer, but that's all right. While drawing objects category all that count. So it is something with drawing objects. Drawing objects. Okay, I tried drawing objects, did I not? Drawing objects dot, there we go, dot delete. Okay, all right, and then we can do the value. What is the value? apparently there's a lot more to this drawing objects. No, it's not. Drawing objects. Okay, so here, drawing objects is used to add, delete, or access drawing objects in a chart. So, okay, so we're using the analysis technique, which is essentially using drawing objects up here. That's the analysis technique. Drawing objects is short for that. So, drawing objects, then we can go right to drawing objects. All right. What happens if it's asking me for what before I delete that? Doesn't really say. Dot delete. What's the value? Deletes the drawing object from the drawing objects collection for a chart. Well, the drawing object collection that I have is, I'm thinking about the vector that I have here, that I created a vector, and so that is a collection, but I think the drawing objects collection is a whole new collection that's not this that I created. It's its own collection that's keeping track of all these that were created. It's its own vector. So if it's a collection, then I should be able to just delete everything after. So say I want to keep 10, I should say um 10. I'll just delete 10, and then so with every time it comes back down, every time there's an iteration, every time there's a new horizontal line, I'm going to delete the 10th one. So technically it should only keep 9. To me, that logic makes sense, but I don't know if that's what this computer is doing. But let's try it. No, did not do that. Didn't like that. That's not what it was asking for. All right, cannot convert parameter 1 from integer to your system drawing object. Okay, that is an integer. So do I need to put the collection here? And if I did, the collection would be bears, but that doesn't make any sense. That's bears is my vector, that's my collection. I thought it asked me for the object. Drawing object value. Zero. All right, I'm looking at this help right here, and it says to delete the drawing object, you want to do object.delete, and then I'm not sure what it's calling right here. You know what? This is calling a I think this is specific to drawing objects. I don't think that this is a vector that they made. No, they didn't make this vector. This is the nomenclature that is used by drawing objects. But why can I not find that over here? I mean, that's the ridiculous part about some of this coding stuff, is they don't always make it make sense. The simple stuff, for the most part, makes sense, but when you start getting into some of this more complex stuff, it doesn't always make sense. Now this says that the vector is empty or invalid, so let me say that if I always run through this kind of stuff when I'm learning something for the first time. Drawing objects to keep 100. While drawing objects, okay, so this is a oh, yeah. This is a TradeStation this is a TradeStation function. Object category dot all dot count. Time elapsed. That's all it is. So really, I need this entire thing. So I'm going to copy this entire thing. That's what I need. I hate to just copy stuff because I want to understand it. But when I copy it, I can look through it and then understand it. But what I understand is that TradeStation doesn't give you enough information in its little dictionaries and stuff for you to do what you want to do. So we'll say, for our statement, we'll say if we'll say while drawing objects of objects category dot count. I feel like this is an array. I feel like, yeah, this is an array because this is the array name. This is how many is in the array. This is the count that counts how many is in the array. And if that number is greater than, we said we want to keep 10. So if that number is greater than 10, then you'll begin or since you're using while, you don't have to say begin. So while it's greater than 10, you're going to keep deleting. You're going to drawing objects dot delete. Then what delete is calling for, remember, it was calling for the object. This is the object. The object is drawing objects. It's the array. Okay. All right. I think I got it. A vector does last in, first out. So a vector is like a stack. So the vector will have your most recent, and then the older one, and then one even older, and then one even older, and then your oldest. But an array, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be your oldest one a little bit newer, one a little bit newer, your newer one, your newest. So when you are looking at your array, you're going to be deleting what's in the index 0. And it'll just keep deleting the 0 one. But that doesn't make sense though, because the array holds its position. The array holds its position. Each object within the index will keep its position. So I'm gonna hit verify and we'll see what we get, but I gotta understand this. I've got to understand this. All right, so begin in, we don't need this end here. Okay, and then we'll go back here and we'll hit status. Okay, is that better? Did that clear some up? Is that 10 lines? Because we said we wanted to keep 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess 10. All right, so if we wanted to be 5, we'll make that 5, hit that. Yeah, that worked. That worked. That worked. Doggone it. All right. So this will make it keep only 5, right? So we have all of our horizontal lines being created there. Now, if we mute this out, then you'll see that we had a bunch of lines, right? But so that's too many lines, and I've done the same thing making trend lines and everything on my charts, and there'll just be a bunch of trend lines all over the place. But depending on what you're looking at, what strategy you're looking at, or what you want to see on your chart, you don't want to have so many lines. I mean, it can be distracting. So say you only want to keep 5. You use this, and then now you only have 5. So this is what you want to use right here. You want to use this bit of a line right here. But again, I get that drawing objects, right? Drawing objects right here, it keeps its own collection. It keeps its own array. And I didn't know that. But it keeps its own collection, its own array, and that name of that array is drawing objects. And so how many it has in it is, I guess it just keeps going. It just keeps, it's like a dynamic array, I guess. And then it just keeps adding to that number. So that array is going to be as large as object category.all. And so this will be the count of how many is actually in the array. And so if it's greater than 5, then you want to delete drawing objects dot. We know this is the array. We know this is the size. You have to write that every time. But this is the index that you're deleting. And you're deleting the object. So that's cool. But how are you deleting the index 0 it's not like it keeps compressing down every time you delete the first one, it drops down, delete the first one, it drops down, delete the first one, it drops down, delete the first one, it drops down. It doesn't do that. So how does that make sense? Let's go to array.delete and see if we can understand a little bit more. Is there something we don't understand? Array. Unless that's just a function that's specific to that delete function. Let's see. That's a possibility too, because drawing objects.delete, the delete part could delete and drop it down itself. But again, it doesn't tell you very much in delete. You know what? Let's see. Can I No, sometimes you can open the function and you can see exactly what's written in the code. But you can mess around and change that code, and then you got nothing. You mess up TradeStation stuff. So some of the times they don't let you do that. But it lets us see the definition, which is this, and that's not very clear. All right, so it's just said that it deletes a drawing object from the collection. That sucks. I mean, I see how it works. I mean, I see what it's doing, but I just have to remember that it works that way because you know what? Maybe all arrays work that way. Because I normally don't delete stuff from an array. I may set it to 0 or overwrite it, but I normally don't delete it. Which, I guess technically, if you have, I'm a very visual learner, sorry guys. If you have 3 pins and you delete one of them, well, do you still have 3? No, you have 2. So if you delete the one in the first or the bottom position, now you have 2. Okay. All right. I got you. All right, so let's look at array usage and see if it kind of confirms that. Don't get nothing if you don't spell it right there, bubby. All right, array delete. Doesn't really have much on deleting in an array. And this is going to be a dynamic array because it does change. All right. Doesn't really tell you much about deleting and all that stuff, though. It just tells you how to add on to it. Or maybe that's the trick to it, is even though, nah, I think when it deletes, it probably drops down and it changes the index as well. It drops everything down. Yeah. It's got to in order to keep deleting the 0 one, and then you are still getting it working properly. If you delete the one in the oldest position, they all drop down. All drop down. Okay. All right. Because what I'm thinking about is, like I said, assigning something to it. I'm just thinking about even if it didn't drop down, we have the dynamic array. So maybe if it didn't drop down, you know, you had 5. You said you have a an array with 5 things in it. The 0 space, 1 space, 2, 3, 4. Fourth space. Fourth space 5 elements or 5 objects. Now, if you delete this one, these have to drop down to the 0, 1st, 2nd, 3rd space. The count, how many were in the array, would still be 4, but the index, the location of them, would drop down. Would drop down 1. Okay, again, I wish it had more information about how does it not have anything about deleting in the array? I don't think, I mean, I've not known for you to delete an item in an array. All right, so how about even a dynamic array? Now you set different values. Most of the time you use loops and repeats and counters for that. Arrays, same as arrays, fixed length arrays. I'm just seeing what they have on here, seeing if they, the senior traders, the specialists, give any ideas about what's going on with the counting. Better solution would be to put drawing objects into a vector as you create them. Then what that vector reaches, I guess once the vector reaches a certain size, switch to deleting the oldest drawing object in the vector before you add a new one. Might need to make k equals less.count -1 down to so this is what I was saying. I'm thinking that the array is keeping the most recent ones. It's hard to tell based on the chart that I have here, but because they are horizontal lines and not trend lines. If they were trend lines, then it'll be easier to tell. But if that didn't work, then you could do what they have here, right? So for list.count -1 draw down to drawing objects to keep. I'll actually simply return the number of drawing objects, but this code keeps returning 0. A lot of stuff going on here. Vector list equals null, list equals drawing objects. Oh, well, you don't have to do all that, do you? If you have a problem, is it with the .count property or of getting a vector of all drawing items? I didn't have to do this at all. I didn't have to do this at all. Need to change semicolon on line 2 with a comma. So line 3 is this should be semicolon. All right, well, let me try going to collections. Because there's some deletion going on there. Well, definitely with vector class. You can pop back and you can erase. But again, even when you erase, I don't know that it drops down a list in a space, or if it stays at, everything stays at the same index. Okay, but I think I'm done looking over this for today. I've solved my issue for today. It would be nice to understand, learn a little bit more about it, and that way I could, expand my knowledge base when it comes to coding. But it looks like I'm not really coming up with anything new with this that I can add to my abilities. So we'll go ahead and open this up. Ooh, this complicates things, because for the bears, we have the last 5 that were created. For the bulls, if we're drawing in the same, it's going to be deleting. So watch this. So now we deleted all but 5. Deleted all the objects but 5. And the problem with that is we want to keep 5 of each, right? We want to keep 5 of each. So if we use that, then it's keeping 5 total. But because all of the objects are stored all together, category.all, we're not keeping them all. So now we do have to try to play with an array ourselves. All right, and I think they did it as a vector. Sheesh. Gosh. All right, I can see that I'm about to wreck my brain for the night. I might have to play with this tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna call this bear, or array bear, and it's gonna have how many in it? It's gonna have every time we get one of these, we're gonna do count bear. So that's how many? No, because if we reset it, count bear, we could change that with every bear that we get, but as we delete them, we're gonna set it for the number of bears that we want to, number of items that we want to keep. So we're going to keep 5, okay, and then we're going to assign them initially at null. I think that'll work. Can we assign this as being an object initially? You know, you can put integer, integer string. So like you can do integer, you can do string, you can do Boolean. Bool. Doesn't look like you can do object. Object is different. Okay, well, let's just do that. And then we don't need this. And then we'll say, put this up here. So it's already initialized first. So a bear 5. All right, so yeah, this is gonna be harder than it seems. I can definitely see doing it with a vector because it's just gonna keep adding to the back of it. Let's do it with a vector. We already have the vector up there. Vector is here. But I see that this is using an array, so I don't know what to do now. But so we have bears.insert. So we have the bears going to the vector, and it's going in the first position. So that's the newest. We need to delete the last one off the back. And with this, I don't know which one we're deleting. Well, it says drawing objects.delete. So delete, we'll delete the bears dot at index 5. So every time when it gets up to 5, it'll delete it. We don't even need to use drawing objects greater than 5. But we do need to say while the vector dot count, so the count of the vector is bears dot count, when it's equal to 5, while bears dot count equals 5, we're going to go to drawing objects dot delete, and we're going to delete the vector bears at index 5 as type drawing object. That should do it. That should do it. If that doesn't do it, then I really don't know. Okay, it at least worked. I mean, it didn't give me any errors, but also nothing came up. So horizontal line, I think it turned it off. Yeah, it didn't like what I'm doing. Oh, you know what? I gotta say that the this cannot be null. So while bears.count equals 5, and bears is not null, so there is actually something in the vector. No, we have to do that. I don't know if that was a problem. I don't think that was a problem. Let's see what this says on the event log. Vector is empty or invalid index. Index of 5. While bears.count equals 5, bears not equal to null, I'm going to delete bears.at 5. The count is 5. Oh, remember you have a 0 position. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But we said that the count is equal to 5. That. So that would still be fine because the index. No. Well, if we're doing 5, we got to use a 0 position. So 0 is the first one. So we got 0, which is 1. Then we got 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 4. So we don't have this fifth one. So we have to say while bears.count is equal to 4, then delete the 4th position. Well, that'll be our 5th one. Number 4 will be our 5th one. So while bears.count is equal to, when bears.count equals 6, that 6th one, we're going to delete the one at position 5. There we go. All right. Yep. A little tedious. Can be tedious at times. Taking a lot longer to load that. Shouldn't take that long. So something must be the matter. Yeah. Must be going into an infinite loop. It's going into an infinite loop. What did I say? I said, wow. Oh, well, it's done, but it didn't say it went to an infinite loop, but it sure did. It did something. All right, so while bears.count is equal to 6, and bears is not empty, we're going to delete bears at I don't know if this is how you delete this. Let's see. I know there's pop back. Oh, we need to do erase. But I like the delete one, but I guess delete is for an array. We're using a vector, so we gotta do that erase. Because the at word only returns what the value is. It doesn't erase. So let's try that. However, it did not like that. It's literally what I just put. Oh, what? Since we're doing our own vector erasing, we don't need the rest of this. We don't need the drawing objects.delete. I kind of feel like we do, because we're storing, I don't know. I definitely have some. Okay, so we got everything back, but we didn't delete anything. And this is saving the object in the vector, but it's not deleting the object from the workspace. It's not deleting it from the workspace. And it's not allowing me to erase it as drawing object either. It says that I'm only supposed to have this. I'm not supposed to have any of this. Now, if we do bears.count, if bears.count equals 6, if we are looking at the vector and then we delete this, well, now we're only deleting, now we're still deleting both the blue ones, the bulls, and the bears. If we use that blanket statement, which is drawing objects dot delete drawing object yada yada yada, it's not specific to just the bear or the bull. So again, that's where the array comes into place, where you're saving it in the array. Array a bear but when I was putting it on here before, it's like, where do you put the how do you assign the new value to the array, because it's going to keep changing. So I could say the array at index of the count, but then once I delete one, the new one would come into like position 0, but then I'm going to delete the last one, and then the new one will come into position 0. I'm just overwriting it. So that doesn't work. That doesn't work. I don't know. Shit. Shoot. All right, I'm gonna have to look at some other forms, see if I can figure out how to do it with my own array. Because like I said here, you know, they're suggesting that you use the array and the information that is provided. Drawing objects dot delete list k. For k equals drawing objects dot count minus 1. Drawing objects object category dot all. You don't even have a in bracket there. I don't think that that's right. I think somebody's trying something there. See? Here they have a beginning bracket. They don't have an end bracket. Drawing objects out the category. Object category enumeration, drawing objects, draw objects. Yeah, there's much to be desired here. There's not enough information about this. So I'm gonna go back to the drawing board and see if I can't figure this out. But all right, so we got partially through this. We're able to create our lines at least. We aren't able to really do much with the pre-market and then post-market values because we are not doing regular hours, so it won't populate the same. But I'm gonna look tomorrow to see if I can figure out what's going on with how I can really define this myself as far as deleting these old values. I'm sure I have it figured out, so it just takes a matter of time. All right, guys, I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace.